Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're the place you come to unpack those complex ideas, find surprising insights you probably won't get anywhere else.
And today, we're really plunging into quite a story. Incredible challenges, unexpected alliances.
And the very definition of life itself. I mean,
Right.
imagine for a moment your home, where you live, work, everything is suddenly called a total loss.
Yeah, a danger, something that has to be destroyed.
That's exactly the situation Captain Jean-Luc Picard found himself in.
We've actually pulled together a really fascinating collection of source materials for this. We've got captain's logs, debriefings.
Even some deeply personal recollections.
Right. All to understand how this formidable starship, the USS Enterprise, ended up on the brink of destruction, just completely taken over by this bizarre, rapidly evolving thing.
And how its crew, facing, truly impossible odds, fought not just for their ship,
Which was huge in itself.
but for their whole understanding of what life even is.
Huh.
So our mission today, uncover the surprising truths behind this crisis.
And explore how different kinds of intelligence navigate catastrophe.
And really consider, what does it actually mean to be alive?
Okay, so let's set the scene.
Yeah, let's dive in. We open on Starbase 210. It's supposed to be a place of safety, right?
Supposedly. But you feel it straight away. Something's off. Picard, Crusher, Riker, LaForge. They're not in their uniforms.
No, they're in these drab coveralls. Picard even mentions feeling almost naked, exposed, vulnerable.
Yeah, it's such a strong image. Strips away that authority.
How does that feeling right at the start kind of set the tone for what they're about to face?
Oh, it's crucial. It immediately makes them human, flawed, maybe unprepared.
And you see it so clearly with Geordi LaForge.
Exactly. His visor, the thing that lets him see, it's gone. His pupils are described as dull, milky white, blinking red implants. It's startling.
He says he feels damned helpless without it. It just visually slams home their disadvantage from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
And they're frustrated, too, stuck waiting. Yeah, Riker's annoyed with the usual bureaucratic nonsense, the delay meeting Admiral Davies.
And you get the sense Davies and Picard have, let's say, a history, not exactly warm.
And then the Admiral just drops the bomb.
Crushing news. The Enterprise. Total loss.
Deemed a danger. Ordered towed and destroyed. Photon torpedoes.
The room just goes silent. You can imagine. This wasn't just, a pile of metal for them.
Beverly Crusher says it perfectly. Our home.
Our home, that sums it up. Not just circuits and bulkheads. It was their identity, their family, in a way.
You can almost feel the weight of that, can't you? Your whole world just written off.
Absolutely. But this is the Enterprise crew we're talking about. Even facing that, there's resistance.
Deep down, yeah. That loyalty isn't just switched off by bureaucracy.
Exactly. But to really get how they reached this point, this catastrophe, we need to rewind.
Right. The sources take us back 1 week.
It all starts, maybe surprisingly, with a kind of patchy distress call.
From Science Station 146. It's on the planet Phaedra.
And Phaedra's already known for its odd electromagnetic fields. Explains why the signal's so bad.
The message is from Mikal Tillstrom. He's the son of Dr. Adrienne Tillstrom, a noted xenogeologist. He mentions some sort of disaster.
But just before they jump into that, we get this fascinating glimpse of normalcy.
Yeah, the holodeck scene, holodeck 3, they're playing volleyball.
Intense volleyball. You've got Worf looking particularly odd in swimming trunks.
I mean, who wouldn't pay to see that?
Right. It's great comedic relief, but looking back...
It makes the coming crisis even more jarring. You got Data there, too, sort of logically puzzled by human competition.
Mm-hmm. And Picard. Not a fan of team sport.
No, he prefers riding, fencing, and, of course, curling up with a good book. Such a Picard thing to say.
It really highlights that contrast, doesn't it? The mundane, then boom, the extraordinary.
Yeah. And Phaedra itself, even before this disaster, it's not your average planet.
Not at all. Data's initial report. Earth-sized, but heavier, denser.
Dense, metallic, liquid core. A super-fast 10-hour day.
Which means increased convection currents, more geological activity. But the key thing is its electromagnetic field.
Right. It's off the charts. Varies from 5.2 up to 301.2 Gauss. Earth is like, what, 0.31?
Tiny in comparison. And this wild field makes transporter use extremely dangerous.
So shuttles only. That's important later.
Very. And all this strangeness, this geological chaos, maybe sets the stage for what's coming. Life itself might be different here.
Which leads us to Picard's reaction. Counselor Troy picks up on it immediately. He's got deep feelings about Dr. Tillstrom.
Turns out Adrienne is an old friend he'd lost contact with.
We get this backstory about Picard's summer at Caltech. Adrienne was his math tutor.
Started off as a terribly stiff prig, apparently, but turned into a striking female.
They had this odd romance, a meeting of analytical minds, described as a cold heat. Intriguing phrase.
It really is. And she introduced him to this idea, this creature called a mungfish.
The living rainbow creature from Stromgren 10.
Yeah, and seeing it helped Picard appreciate the universe's strangeness and Adrian's own unique nature, too.
It's such a personal detail.
Okay.
Explains his quiet urgency, but also, it hints at how our past connections drive us, even in these huge crises.
Absolutely. And those stakes are clear right away. Data calculates a 15.9% chance of mechanism disruption because of the electromagnetics.
But Picard insists, sends the rescue team. Riker, Crusher, Data, Geordi. The risk is necessary.
So the mission starts, ill-fated as we know. Riker's team lands.
And immediately it's bad. Buildings collapsed inside, splattered by large quantities of reddish-brown mud.
Not just any mud, though. Crusher's tricorder analysis shows it's inorganic. Magnesium, alkalized basalt, quartz, silicates.
Basically plain old clay mud.
But here's the unsettling part. Ensign Frederick's sensors. No seismic activity in the past week.
Yeah, the damage looks like a massive earthquake, a 9.5 on the Richter scale.
And the mud has these glittering pieces of crystal in it. And then it starts dropping from the ceiling onto Riker.
Yeah. So it's active. It's not just leftover debris.
Exactly. This isn't residue. It's something happening.
Inside the station, it's grim. Only 2 dead found, the rest are missing.
But they do find Dr. Tillstrom alive in sickbay.
But the real horror sinks in when the shuttle gets back to the Enterprise.
Yeah. Chief O'Brien transports Geordi and 2 others, but Ensign Mikals, he's dead. Helmet destroyed. Body's a mess.
And Geordi just says it flat out. We've discovered the problem, and it looks as though we've brought it along with us. Chills.
Instantly, you know the ship is compromised. Data's analysis confirms the worst.
The mud. It's alive!
A creature, yet clearly not an organic creature. Silicon-based life.
Like the Tin Man, or the terrifying crystalline entity they'd faced before.
Right, so not entirely unprecedented, but this feels different, more insidious. Data brings up this fascinating real-world theory by Dr. Cairn Smith.
The idea that life, the very first genetic information, might have evolved in crystals, like clay.
Exactly. These replicating matters forming complex neural networks, like one large brain. It totally flips the script on how life might begin.
And now, this theory is literally taking over their ship. It's transforming our ship, Data says, replicating itself using the Enterprise's own matter.
It's mind-bending. Makes you wonder what other forms of being could be out there right under our noses.
And even as this is starting, all the ship's diagnostics are showing normal. Green across the board.
But Picard has this feeling, a sixth sense, a nameless fear.
He overrides the diagnostics, orders a level 1 anyway, trusting his gut.
Which leads Geordi to find these tiny, infinitesimal irregularities in the hull's mass. Almost nothing.
But enough for an EVA. And that's when they see it.
The hull moves. It rolled like a wave, made of crystals winking and shining.
And a piece of it, a pseudopod, lashes out, kills Ensign Mikals, throws Geordi into space.
Picard's intuition saved them from being completely blindsided if he hadn't pushed.
They might not have known until it was way too late. Shows the value of experience over pure data sometimes.
Definitely. Okay, so let's unpack this threat more. Mikal Tillstrom, Adrienne's son, he's recovering, but he has this implant.
Right, the endogram circuitry, causing headaches, amnesia.
He remembers his mother suggesting it so he could learn quickly, pass a test for a job on Phaedra, which he did the very next day.
So it's advanced tech, but clearly linked to his trauma now.
And he starts to remember Phaedra, the awful mud. This Dr. Springton, a crystal specialist, found it first.
They tried to contain its growth with chemicals.
But then Mikal says all hell broke loose. The clay just came alive, rolled, engulfed the station.
And here's a really dark twist. Some of the science team were mentally affected, started killing the others.
It's not just physical, it's psychic. A psychic invasion.
Chilling. So Picard and the crew are trying to figure out what this thing is.
Data interacts with it, confirms it's quite sentient and quite intelligent. It learns.
But its mind seems simple. One-dimensional.
Yeah, it tells Data its purpose. Good life shall triumph and grow and nurture the holiness. Bad life shall be extinguished.
Yikes. And it sees itself as destined to spread my kind upon the face of space.
A single-minded, terrifying goal. Which means Starbase 210 is next. The whole fleet, potentially.
So the Enterprise races towards the starbase, but The creature's growing too fast.
Data's trying to replicate that chemical spray from Mikal's memory, the one that supposedly stopped it on Phaedra.
Mix of complex hydroacids and other chemicals, but it only curtailed the growth, didn't stop it.
Right. And Admiral Davies, he's not taking any chances. Even with Data using organic plastic casing for samples, Davies wants the Enterprise destroyed. Containment at all costs.
This is that classic clash, isn't it? Logical safety protocols versus loyalty, hope, trying to find another way.
And then the real turning point, Dr. Adrienne Tillstrom wakes up.
Finally. And she has the answers.
She reveals the why. Phaedra's unique pole changes, these magnetic field reversals every few years. They create periods of magnetic freefall.
And they ran an experiment.
Yes, to simulate these conditions over a large area using the whole camp, and that's what caused the silicate clay to replicate, grow, and become a living inorganic composite creature.
Wow, so it wasn't an invasion from space or anything. They accidentally woke it up, created it, in a sense.
Exactly. Explains why it activated on Phaedra and then again on the Enterprise with its own magnetic fields.
But Adrienne has more. Something chilling about Mikal.
His implant, that engram circuitry, it's a special model. It has a transceiver that accesses separate computer storage.
Meaning?
The creature can control him.
No way.
The computer confirms it. Mikal's heading to field generation control on the starbase.
To disable the quarantine field, let the creatures spread.
Picard has to make a choice. He defies orders, risks court-martial, everything. He's going to stop Mikal himself.
Meanwhile, back on the quarantined Enterprise, Data's alone with the creature.
Which forms a humanoid shape. Tries to recruit him, calls him good life, wants his help destroying the bad life. Us organics.
But Data, he doesn't just fight it physically.
No, this is where Data truly shines. He engages it philosophically, argues that faults imply complexity, that they're an important aspect of evolution.
He talks about emotions enriching life, creating bonds. He's basically defending messy, complex, organic existence of this pure, logical, but ultimately sterile entity.
He's not just a machine calculating odds. He's an ambassador for humanity, in a way.
And while that's happening, something completely unexpected occurs.
Penelope Winthrop.
The young girl whose autism regressed due to the trauma?
Troy suspected she might have psychic abilities. Penelope goes to Mikal.
And reaches out to him with her mind. Shares her own pain, her healing. This mind contact breaks the creature's hold, pulls Mikal out of his autistic trance.
Incredible. But she doesn't stop there.
No. Her mind then directly engages the creature, defends herself, strikes back with pure energy. The creature actually wails and recoils.
A young girl using untapped mental strength pushes back against this ancient, inorganic intelligence. That's amazing.
Phenomenal. And that mental attack, that moment of recoil, it creates the opening they desperately need.
Back on the Enterprise bridge, Picard, Riker, Worf are facing the creature directly. It's growing, heading for them. Geordi and Data are scrambling in the Jeffries tubes, those crawl spaces, reconfiguring the wiring.
Trying to generate that strong, specially designed electromagnetic field to stop the creature.
Riker goes down, Worf goes down. The creature, the clay, is overwhelming Picard. He's struggling to reach the activation PAD.
But then Penelope's psychic blow hits the creature, distracts it for just a second.
Then in that instant, Picard makes a final leap, pure willpower, and activates the field.
What happens then?
Instant chaos. Lights whirl, gravity fluctuates, then stabilizes. The clay, the creature, it writhed and churned.
And then
Stillness. Still and silent as a tomb.
Wow.
Picard, covered in the now inert mud, gets on the comms. Cancel destruction. I repeat, cancel destruction. I and my crew are aboard.
They did it. Against everything, they saved the Enterprise. They're home.
An absolute triumph. Davies is furious, of course. Predictable outrage.
But Picard accepts the consequences. He saved the ship, maybe the whole starbase.
The Enterprise heads into dry dock. The creature is back to being just inert clay, contained, but what a lesson.
And after the storm, there's this quiet moment. Picard goes back to his roots.
Yeah. He asks Adrienne Tillstrom to tutor him again in higher mathematics.
And she agrees, but only if he shows her his ship. Tells her about his star wanderings.
Just the delightful scene. Shows how shared passions, intellectual respect can bridge even long gaps. A bit of warmth after the crisis.
Definitely. And Milahil.
He makes a full recovery. Miraculous, really. And he credits Penelope. It symbolizes this really deep, nurturing bond they formed through the trauma.
And we see the crew back on the holodeck playing a volleyball again.
That image of resilience, right. The Enterprise healing, the crew healing. Even Picard and Adrienne join in this time.
A true new beginning. And Picard has this final thought, this quiet affirmation. I've been there all along, haven't I? Like he found something within himself through all this.
A profound internal journey amidst the external chaos.
So wrapping this up, what does this all really mean for us listening to this?
Well, this whole deep dive, it shows how something seemingly simple, a geological quirk, spirals into this massive threat.
And it forced the crew to question everything. Life, intelligence, humanity itself.
And the ship wasn't saved just by tech, was it? It was loyalty, courage.
And that completely unexpected power of human connection, Penelope's nascent psychic ability turning the tide.
It really pushes us to consider that intelligence can exist in forms we barely comprehend. Challenges our biases, you know?
Yeah, the idea that we're the only game in town.
And maybe that path to real wisdom, it involves embracing not just logic and knowledge, but empathy. Even our own faults, as Data argued.
Maybe progress isn't about becoming perfect, erasing flaws.
Maybe it's about understanding, even embracing all the weird, baffling ways existence manifests.
Right. This whole struggle, it's a reminder, isn't it? The universe is just far stranger, far more complex than we often think, always challenging our definitions.
And what if Data was onto something? That faults imply complexity, that they're vital for evolution.
How different would our own approach to growth, to transformation be if we saw the world less through rigid logic?
And more through that vibrant, sometimes really messy lens of actual experience.
Something to think about. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning.
I keep making those surprising connections.
Yeah.